and welcome back to one of my hopefully useful tutorials. This is directed specifically to those people that have been asked by their partner or even have to take it on themselves to get their knives sharp enough. See, all I want is to be able to cut an onion and potatoes and what. That's all I want. Well, I'm happy to say this is the video for you. We'll be covering the very basic minimum to get your knife to be able to cut to a potato and an onion and whatever, meat, whatever. And we'll get that done. We'll head upstairs straight away and get started on the very basics. Thanks for watching. Hi, we're back upstairs now, and I'm just going to point out a few things that you may want to consider getting. You're going to need one. You cannot escape this. You're going to need a whetstone. Now you can get these dual-sided stones from eBay or Amazon for about $25 posted. On the coarse side, you're looking to buy something that's around 380 to 500 grit. On the other side, you're looking at something in the range of 800 to 1000 grit. Now there's one other thing you need to look at in stones, and that is perhaps purchasing a diamond flattening stone. Unfortunately, this would be a major expense for you, but you don't have to have one. This is a 400 grit diamond stone, but you can use the concrete on your step outside your back door, for instance, or around the house, or if you can get one of the concrete access ramps. Now they're extremely coarse and they will flatten your stone in no time. And the reason for that is that they're made very coarse so that when people are using those ramps in wet weather, they don't slip over and bust their assholes. You just got to make sure that when you're doing it, that the stone is wet. So take a bucket of water with you and just start grinding away. All you're doing is rubbing it away on the concrete. Next thing, or strop. Now it's just an old leather belt that I've glued to a piece of wood, and it does the same job as commercially bought $75 or $100 strop. If you don't want to go to that length, an old piece of newspaper is just as good, if not better, in some instances, and I'll show you how that works later on in the video. Of course, your onion to prove to your partner that you have in fact sharpened your knives. The other thing that remains is a knife. Now I'll be using this. This is a POS that was given to me. It's stainless steel and it's in pretty crappy condition. And about 70% of the knives that I sharpen commercially are like this. Most home users are using stainless steel because they don't have to worry about care or too much rust coming from it. And that's about it. I'll show you. I'll move on to the sharpening. This is my own setup. It's about as complex as it gets. You've got a block of wood. I've just put some tape on there to stop it sliding around the bench top. You could just use a piece of wet towel. In fact, if you don't have something like this, you could just get a bit of building wood and put down a wet cloth and then put your whetstone on there. Now this has been soaked for about 15 minutes. That just sits on there, and it would be nice if you could use the ridge between the sinks to put your stone on. That would avoid you having to get a block of wood, but it's too narrow and your stone will fall off, and you don't want that when you're sharpening knives. And that's all there is to my setup, and we'll get sharpening very shortly. Okay, so we've wet our whetstone, and now we're going to sharpen. Now we're going to hold the stone with the, in this case, the spine away from us. We're going to hold that up so that you can get about 2 Australian $2 coins under there. It's about 5 mils, and you're going to start lightly pushing away, backwards and forwards. And you're putting your fingers as close to the edge as you care, or dare I should say, and you're going to just do this about, I don't know, 10, 20 times. And then there's two ways to do this. You can turn it around and do 20 on the other side like that. And I'm moving my fingers down to distribute the weight evenly. And you can see how there's bits of metal starting to appear on there. The other way you can do it is go 10 on this side again, or 20. And then turn it over. And that's all there is to it. Now what you're doing next is you're going to feel for a burr. Now you can push away, and what the burr will feel like is a little ridge or a little piece of wire sitting on the edge there, and that will tell you that you've formed an apex, and there's metal there that just rocks backwards and forwards, and it won't come off until you strop, or it just naturally falls off. And we'll just keep going until we achieve that. Okay, so now I've done about 70 strokes on each side of the knife, and I can feel a burr. I don't know whether it'll come out, but it's on this side and I can feel a tiny ridge. Now we want to take that burr off, and to do that you can what they call strop on the stone, and this is fairly effective. And if it doesn't want to come off, you can just keep going till it does. Put a bit more water on that stone. Always keep plenty of water on your stone unless you're using a sharpen stone. Sharpen stones do not like water, apparently. And it's not going to come off today. So we will go and remove that using a strop. Okay, so because the burr was a little reluctant to come off on the stone itself, I'm going to force it to come off on the strop. So we're just wobbling this backwards and forwards on the strop. About once, that's all you need. And then about 10 to 20 strokes along there like that, and that will take your burr off and refine your edge slightly. You might ask why you want the burr off. Well, you don't want it showing up in your Chateaubriand. You can do it with your newspaper. Same deal. Just wipe it off and strap. And there you have it, it's all done. That knife will go through a potato and a carrot, whatever. It's not rocket science, it's not hard. It took me 75 strokes on each side to get that done. The litmus test. Onion rings. Great stuff. Thank you for watching.